All right, all right, all right. If you are joining today, we are talking about your commitment level. Why is commitment so important? It is important because without a commitment level, it's highly likely we won't reach our goal. It's highly likely we're not going to do it. It's highly likely that we'll have some challenges. We're going to have challenges with everything, but will we remain consistent? So, what is your commitment level? Today is Wisdom Wednesday. Let's get our commitment level going. Okay, with that being said, let's break this down. There are 4 levels of commitment. There are 4 levels of commitment. And today we're talking about the commitment level. Which one are you? Which one are you? There's 4 levels of commitment. Which one, where do you stand? That's what we're talking about this morning. And the reason we're talking about it is because I had a client who talked about their commitment level. And one of the pieces, when I talk to them, one of the pieces I let them know is there are 4 levels to commitment. At least when I'm coaching clients, there are 4 levels. And today we're going to talk about them. Number 1, well, and the other piece is the commitment level really gives me an idea of where you are. Right? So you'll see me look down at my notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll also see me look on the computer because I've got things there as well. But when we start talking about a commitment level, one of the biggest things people often wonder is, why is this person successful and I'm not? They seem to accomplish it. They seem to do well. The answer lies not only just in the purpose, but also in their commitment level. Why is the commitment level so important? Because when you're committed to something, not only does that bring about your discipline, because remember now, we're not working solely off of motivation. Not only does it bring about discipline when we talk about different commitment levels, it also helps us to appreciate that it is a journey. And so there are levels to this. No one just wakes up and says, okay, that's it, I'm doing it. No, there has to be a process so you can progress. And so with that being said, let's talk about the 4 commitment levels. Number 1 is the wishful thinking, and we're going to go through what they actually mean. Number 1 is the wishful thinking. Number 2 is interest. Number 3 is intentional effort. And number 4 is all in. Those are the 4 ones. Today, I'm going to help you figure out where you actually stand in terms of your commitment level. And please, guys, as you come in, tap the screen. As you tap the screen, you'll see the red button go over. Good morning, Summer. How are you? You'll see the red button go over. And if you deem this information worthy of someone else knowing, I appreciate when you tap the screen, when you let others in. Guys, today is Wisdom Wednesday. And one of the things we're talking about is the commitment level. And the question is, where do you stand? Which level are you when it comes to commitment? Okay, so let's start there. So when we start talking about the levels of commitment, first and foremost, I said it earlier, number 1 is wishful thinking. That's a low level of commitment. That's a low level. Number 2 is interest. And guys, these are my notes. I'm talking with my notes as well as my computer. Number 2 is interest. You've got interest in it, but only if it's kind of easy, right? Number 3, intentional effort. I love intentional effort. I love intentional effort, and I love the next one is all in. Those are the 4 commitment levels. And the reason we're talking about it today is because most people never make it past wishful thinking, interest, or effort. If they don't make it past it, because they don't go all in. And why is it important to go all in? It's important to go all in because guess what? That's where the transformation comes in at. That's where the transformation comes in. So let's talk about the commitment level. Hey, Erica Essie, thank you for joining. Let's talk about the commitment level that we have, okay? So first of all, wishful thinking. That's number 1. Wishful thinking is number 1. And guys, please continue to tap the screen. As you tap, other people will come in. As they come in, they'll get this information as well, right? Wishful thinking is number 1. That is where most people start. Remember now, I've said previously, when we talk about commitment levels, when we talk about determination, when we talk about discipline, we talk about motivation, all of those things work together. But wishful thinking is sort of where we start with our idea. It's just an idea, right? That's where it's like, one day I'll do this. One day I may do this. The challenge with that is wishful thinkers, they dream, but they do not act. They're dreaming about it, but they're not acting on it. That's where the challenge comes in. They tell themselves, and these are some very significant lies that we tell ourselves. I've got enough time. I'll do it later. It's too complex. You see the wishful thinking, the wishful one? As they wish, oh guys, sorry. my light. Okay, there we go. As they wish, what happens is they let the time go by. And as the time goes by, they're stuck wasting the years and wasting the time. Let's not do that. Let's not wait for something to happen in order for us to make a change. Let's not wait for something to happen for us to get this right, our commitment level. So the very first level is wishful thinking. The beauty of this is that when we talk about wishful thinking, it does not mean we can't change. It just simply means that we need to think a little bit further down the line of what we're trying to do, right? So keep that in mind. Wishful thinking. They're dreamers, but they're not acting. Thank you so much for the likes. They're dreamers, but they're not acting on it. And so if they're dreamers, but they're not acting on it, listen, unless you take action, you won't move to the next level. So I don't have time. I don't have the resources. I'll start when I'm ready. Newsflash, you're never going to start when you're ready. And I'm included, right? It takes courage. It takes guts to move in on your dream. It takes courage. It takes guts to say, I'm going to move past wishful thinking. Thank you so much for the likes. It takes courage. It takes guts to know and understand that when you actually have this thought process, you can act on it. And the beauty of it is when you begin to act, that's when you begin to see how beautiful your wishful thinking is. It's no longer a wish. At that point, it's no longer a wish because you're actually taking action. Okay. So that's number one, the wishful thinker. So how many people are wishful thinkers in here? How many people are my wishful thinkers? Let me give you the definition again. They dream, but they do not act. They may think it's too hard. Thanks for being kind while talking about this. Oh, of course. Of course, right brain. Thank you so much for joining, right? They dream, but they do not act. Right? And so a wishful thinker, they may think it's too hard. I don't have enough resources. Yes, you do. You have resources. Let me reintroduce myself. My name is Danielle Sheldon, right? I am a life coach. I love to help people. So that's number one. You have enough resources. Number two, they may think that they need more money. Absolutely not. You don't need more money, right? They may think the idea is too complex. Not too complex. We just need to break it down. Right? So those are the things. They may think they don't have time. You have enough time. We just need to help you to prepare on what you need to do. And so the 5P transformation, the very first piece is to prepare. What are we preparing? It's all about moving our dream to an actual foundation for success. What are we preparing? The number one thing I talk about on a consistent basis, our mind. Our mind. And thank you, Right Brain, for that. I appreciate the likes, right? And I appreciate the comment, right? So with that being said, it's our mind. Why is our mind so important? Because I call it the trap. Guys, today is Wisdom Wednesday. We're not going to hold back. The mind is the trap. Why do I call it a trap? Because that's where the other 13, 10, and I got them too. The other 16 voices are telling us we can't do it. Good morning, Erica Essie. Thank you for joining, right? That's where the other 10, 12, 5, 3 voices are telling us that we can't do it. Keep in mind, our subconscious is always talking to our conscious. And if they're always talking, they're always wanting us to be comfortable. And if they're always wanting us to be comfortable, keep in mind, there's always a challenge. We are imperfect. I just want you to be aware of that, okay? So the wishful thinker is number one. That's level one when we start talking about breaking down our commitment level. You see that here? When we start talking about breaking down the commitment level, that's number one. Number two is our interests. Okay, now I'm interested. Now my idea went to a lingering thought. Now I'm interested. At this stage, you start looking into changes, right? You start looking into changes. However, we look into changes and we consider, is this convenient? Is this convenient? If it's convenient, maybe I'll do it. I'm a little intrigued, right? This is commitment level number two, the interest. Commitment level number one, for those that are just joining, is wishful thinking. Thank you so much for the likes, guys. Please tap the screen, let others come in. If you feel this information is worthy of them learning about this as well, please tap the screen, allow them to come in to get this information, right? So interest, that is commitment level number two, interest. You're intrigued, but you're still not invested, right? The interest may feel like progress, but without commitment, it is literally procrastination in disguise. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. I think the people in the back got a little upset with me on that. You're interested and it feels like there is some progress. It does. I'm interested in it. I picked up a book. I looked up a little bit. But without commitment, thank you guys so much for the likes. Without commitment, it is procrastination in disguise. Why do I say that? Because you're gathering information, you're gleaning information, we're reading, we're looking it up. We may be looking up some information online. We may even have a friend that gives us details, but I have not committed. I have not committed. Why is that commitment so important? Because when I put it into action, can I get upset when hearing the truth? Okay, thank you. When I put it into action, that simply means that I am now beginning to apply it. But at the interest level, I have not applied anything. I've not applied anything. I literally am just thinking on it. I'm gathering information. I've gleaned information, but I haven't applied it. So you see other people making moves, but then we may wonder why we get stuck. Well, we're stuck because we're only interested. We have not decided. Y'all know that's one of my favorite words. Why is that my favorite word? Decide. Because when we decide, that means that there is no plan B. Let's just go straight forward and focus our efforts, our energy, our time on this. We have not decided to focus. We have not decided to take the leap. We have not decided. Yes, thank you, right brain. We have not decided to make the move. We're only interested. And when we're only interested, there is no commitment level. And because there is no commitment level, we then wonder why everyone else is making decisions or making moves. And why am I stuck? What's happening? Well, all I did was read the book. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right? I only read the book. I'm going to give you an analogy. I'm going to give you an illustration. You decide you want to learn how to swim. And I'm doing this specifically with swimming because to prove a point. You decide you want to swim. Yes, Summer, decide and take action. You decide you want to swim. You read a book on swimming. You look at videos on swimming. Your best friend told you how to swim. They told you how to float, how to stroke, everything. But guess what, baby? You didn't make a move yet. You're not going to learn how to swim until you actually get in the water. So with that being said, you cannot know how this particular piece will feel, what moves you need to make, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, who you're going to do it with, when you need to pivot, when you need to adjust. That never happens until you actually take action. So when we are at an interest level, it would behoove us to move just a little bit past that. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that, right brain. Absolutely, right? So it would behoove us to move past that. Now, when we talk about, thank you so much. When we talk about the actual 5P transformation class, you see that transformation class right there? It starts March 17th. When we talk about the class, and it's filling up, when we talk about the class, the second P in the transformation is planning. It is planning. Thank you so much, right brain. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Right? When we talk about that, when we talk about planning, that is the second P in the 5P transformation. Why is that so important? Because you're actually creating your plan so that you can practice, which is the third P in the 5P transformation. You're creating a plan so you can practice. Why is that so important? Well, how will you ever know what to do? How will you know what strategy do you have? What process do you have? Most people fail because they do not have a plan, a strategy, a process so they can progress. And if you're not progressing, then my friend, guess what? It leaves you with anxiety because you're not aligned with what you're trying to do. It leaves you overwhelmed because you're not aligned. You don't have a plan. You see how this comes? Your energy is gone. You're exhausted. We make these silent, just to be clear, we make silent agreements with ourselves. Hi, Farrah. We make silent agreements with not only with ourselves, but with others. What do I mean by silent agreement? Now, this might step on some toes, and then we're going to move on to the next commitment level. This is going to step on a toe. This is what I mean by silent agreement. We make the silent agreement with ourselves that we're going to do something, and we may very well do it. But this is where the exhaustion comes in at. We make silent agreement with other people. They don't even know we've made an agreement with them. And we're doing it not because we want to, but because society says we should. We would rather be wrong with the crowd than to be right by ourselves. Did you catch that? We would rather be wrong with the crowd than to be correct or right by ourselves. So what does that have to do with silent agreement? We see the crowd. We see what the crowd is doing. We understand what they're doing. We do not want to move in that direction, but we do it because it is the crowd. I would rather be wrong with the crowd than right by myself. And so when we talk about the silent agreement, I went along with it just because. That's where your exhaustion comes in at. That's where your misalignment comes in at. That's where there is an identity match. Does that make sense? Can you put a 1 in the comments if that makes sense? Guys, I'm helping you to appreciate that as you go through a process and you start to look at your commitment levels, it's the commitment level or the silent agreement that you've made that will exhaust you if it's not aligned with what you're trying to do, if it's not aligned with your goal, if it's not aligned with your values, if it's not aligned with who you are. Thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you so much for the likes. Right? So guys, when we start talking about interest, we're just gleaning information. We haven't made a move yet. So the second P is plan, getting you from think about it to actually creating a strategy to make it happen. Hence the reason why this class gets filled. Transformation class on 317. Because you need to have a strategy. The strategy is not cookie cutter. This is specific to you. This is specific to your circumstance, to your situation, who you are, your family life. This is all about you. Okay? So now, that was number 2. The first one was wishful thinking. The second one was interest. The third one, I love this one, intentional effort. Why do I love this? Because now we're getting somewhere. Now the silent agreement that you've made with yourself, and if it doesn't align with the other people in that group, your other peers, guess what? You tend to leave them alone because now you've made the agreement with yourself so much so that you could care less. I knew it was coming. Yes, it's coming. Right? You could care less what your peers think. You could care less what the people around you think. Right? Remember now, we talked about I'd rather be wrong with the group than be correct or right by myself. Now you're moving to a mindset of let me be right by myself. I don't care what the other people say. So intentional effort is this. And guys, you know, I always have notes, right? Intentional effort is this. Taking intentional steps and finally taking action. You're finally taking action. Right? And so as you're taking action, it's not just fueled by motivation. What is it fueled by? Your commitment level, your discipline, your determination. You're no longer distracted. Okay? Think about that. It is intentional. What does that mean? My energy, my focus, my thoughts, my values, my goals, they're all aligned. They are all aligned. Let me see. That's where I'm at. Right brain. So you're at number 3. Okay, good. Erica Essie, you never cared. So you're at number 3. Is there anyone here that was at number 1 and number 2? Number 1 was wishful thinking. Number 2 was interest. Now, guys, we're on number 3, which is intentional effort. Intentional effort. Who's at number 3? Beside Erica Essie and Right Brain. And thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. Please continue to tap your screen. Let others in if you deem this information worthy of them getting it. I don't see why you wouldn't. So please tap your screen and let them in, right? So intentional effort. You're taking action. You're showing up. You're working on your goals, but it may be a little inconsistent. That's okay. You can hop back on the horse and ride it into the sunset. You can hop back on the horse, ride it into the sunset. Why is the consistency so important? Because effort without consistency, your results will be meager. It'll be a little challenging. That's why I always talk about discipline versus motivation. Could care less about motivation. Motivation is nice. Just to be clear, it's nice. But that more so deals with feelings. Discipline is I do it anyway when I don't feel like it. I do it anyway when I don't feel like it. So when we talk about our commitment level and intentional effort, that's where your discipline begins to get stronger. That's where you may start up doing things and you may fall off, but that's okay. You're getting the hang of it. You're beginning to understand who you are. You're beginning to leave the I don't want to use the term crackheads, but you're beginning to leave the people that mean you no good. They mean you no good. You're beginning to push them to the side. People at this level begin to do things with consistency. Sometimes they lack clarity. Sometimes they lack discipline. It's okay. Let me see. What do I do to thwart the inconsistency when my work life is so demanding? That's a good question. Thank you for that. So here's the piece, right brain. And I'm going to pin this. Here's the piece. Remember before we talked about having a strategy, right? We have to have a plan. We need to be able to follow that strategy. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be hiccups. Let's just be clear. There's going to be hiccups. But the beauty of it is when you fall off the plan, you can jump right back on. Where did I leave off at? This is where I am. Keep in mind, we know life is not perfect. We know ourselves are not perfect. We have demanding lives. We have loved ones. We have things we have to take care of. But I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I had a hard time getting up to work out. Normally, I work out early in the morning, right? So what do? I didn't miss the entire day. I just worked out later that evening. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So with that being said, when you create your plan and your strategy, what we do in class is make sure it's all aligned. Once it's all aligned and you have exactly what's necessary, guess what happens? You can fall off the horse. Yes, it happens. You get right back on. You get right back on where you fell off at. Right? So with that being said, when we talk about the transformation level, we're at P, which is practice. As you practice, right brain, as you practice, you may begin to see that you need to adjust. Nothing wrong with adjusting. Maybe I can't work out at 5 a.m. Maybe I have to now do it at 6. Maybe I can't get off work and pick up daughter from daycare. Maybe I need to have someone else pick her up, but dinner is ready. I made dinner when you get home. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are all things that help you to have accountability and structure. And as you have structure, you'll begin to know and understand what you can do to adjust, to pivot. Nothing wrong with demanding schedules, right? So you can actually push through it. How do we do that? We come out of that cycle. See, right now we're in the cycle. When we talk about inconsistent, we're in the cycle. We're in the feedback loop. That's what I like to call it. We're in the feedback loop. In that feedback loop, what happens is you make a decision. Life talks back to you. I made this decision. Whoa, I might need to adjust. So what do? Pivot a little in the strategy because we have a plan. We just need to pivot it a little, right? So when you think about it, this intentional effort person, they're taking steps. They may be inconsistent, but it takes time for them to get their bearing and continue to move on. That's it. It takes time. Life throws you a curveball. You just throw it back out there and adjust. Okay? Does that make sense? Success is built through consistency. Success is not a destination. It is a strategy. And that's what we talk about in class. It is not a destination. It is a strategy. Right? And the 5P transformation helps to keep them on track. Okay? So now let's move into our last one. Guys. This level, they are unstoppable. You're not telling them nothing. Oh, good. I'm glad it's okay. Get back on the horse, white brain. Get back on the horse. Right? So level 4. This is my level 4. They don't care what happens. They don't care how you slice and dice it. They don't care what's happening in the family, baby. They're going to make it. This is my all in. This is my all in. You're no longer trying. You are actually completely committed. It's not if it's going to happen. It's when it happens. It's not if it's going to happen. It's when it happens, right? This person is, here's my notes, guys. This person is no excuses. They do what it takes, no matter what the obstacle is on. They've got mind control. They've got dedication. They've got commitment. They know that they have a strategy. They may fall off the horse, but guess what? They get right back on. They don't care what's happening around them. They don't care about their peers. They don't care about any of those things. So, with that being said, oh, wait a minute. Husband? Oh, okay. I heard a noise in the house, y'all. You can't, I don't want the killer to come and get me. But with the 5P transformation, that's where this all in person, they're dealing with purpose. They're dealing with their passion and purpose. Now, after going through the process, right, of the 5 P's, prepare, plan, practice, purpose, passion, as they're going through the process, that's where, because they've taken the time to have the plan and they're actually practicing it, they understand the purpose. As they're understanding the purpose and they gaining momentum, that's where that passion even more so comes in. Right? Oh, thank you so much, Right Brain. I appreciate that. As that passion comes in, you are solidifying your transformation. It's solidified. It's solid. You are aligned. There's no turning back. You don't just look at life from a different lens. You have reframed. You've rewired your mind. You're relearning things. You are completely focused. Your efforts are one that proves and shows that this is exactly what you're doing. The fact that you are creating your reality excites you. Does that make sense? Do you guys hear me and understand? Right? So that number 4 level is all in. I have it here as unstoppable, all in, no excuses. That's it. They're doing it. And the fact that they're doing it, this is the beauty of it. Can I just say this? The fact that they're actually doing it encourages others to do it too. They are creating an environment conducive for others to continue in whatever they're trying to do. It is encouragement. They're creating their reality. They know and understand what they want, that it actually excites them. Yeah, see me on the Tron bike in the spirit. Well, get on your bike, right? Let's go do it. Let's get all in. So you told me you was at level 3, which was intentional effort. Fantastic. Let's move you to level 4. If you're interested in class that starts March 17th, let's move you to level 4. At DanisSheldon.net, guys. It's not here. Normally I have it here. At DanisSheldon.net, when you create an account, you have access to the newsletters that are there. March will be out on Friday. You have access to the newsletter. Some of this information is in the newsletter. It's for free. It's free. Free game. Let me see. What time will classes be? Summer, the class is in the evening. And it's Eastern Standard Time. So it's 5 to 7 in the evening. It's Eastern Standard Time. When I send out my newsletter, if you've signed up for it, you have access to download it. The newsletter doesn't automatically come to you. But you can sign up. You can create an account at DanisSheldon.net. You sign up for it, and you'll see the newsletter. It'll give you the information. Okay. So look at the top of my profile, Right Brain. If you look at the top of my profile, you'll actually see a link there. That link will take you to my website. Okay. You almost had it too, Right Brain. Thank you. You put some effort into that. Thank you. You almost had it. Or you could DM me. If somebody wants to DM me, you could DM me. I will send you the link to the website. Okay, so we're starting March 17th. We always start class on Monday. The class is 2 hours per day. It is specifically designed for you as you go through. We go deep. And the reason we go deep is because we're uncovering, we're removing, we're transforming, we're adjusting. We're doing things to help you to remain consistent. We're doing things to help you transform your life. We are trying. Listen, this is not about talent. I don't care about talent. I don't care about luck. It's about working smarter, not harder. You don't need another complex piece. You just need to arrange things in such a way where you can hit and maintain the goal. When we talk about life transformation, it is not about, oh, I need to add to. No, I refuse to let you do that. This is not a class where you're looking at videos. This is a class where I'm actually facilitating it. Okay? So with that being said, in Right Brain, my name is spelled DANEECE. My last name is Sheldon with a D as in dance. Right. So let's not talk about talent. Good morning, Ashley. How are you, sweetie? Thank you for joining. Let's not talk about talent. We are actually talking about, we're literally talking about just remaining consistent, just rewiring our mindset, just reframing the perspective, just doing things in such a manner where we have a process so we can progress. Thank you so much, Malika. I appreciate that. How are you, sweetheart? I haven't seen you in a little bit. Thank you so much. Right? So guys, keep that in mind. I'm never going to give you anything extra. Not going to do it. I'm never going to tell you you need more money. Not going to do it. I'm not going to tell you that you have to do some grandiose things. No, it just takes a process. It just takes a strategy. And if you have the process and the strategy down, I promise you, you can hit the goal. So when we talk about the transformation, when we talk about doing things, I promise you, sign up at DanisSheldon.net. Look in my profile. You'll see the link. Sign up, create the account. The newsletter's out there. The class starts March 17th. It's filling up. It's something that you will enjoy. Okay? So with that being said, great day, Malika. I hope I'm saying that right. Malika, a breath of fresh air. I hope I'm saying that right. And thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for the gifts. Guys, thank you so much for all the love and support. I really enjoy talking about these things, and I enjoy helping you guys. I enjoy us getting aligned. We are misaligned, and we've been misaligned on autopilot so long we don't even recognize it. And when we do recognize it, sometimes we think it's too late. It's never too late. You've not wasted time. And the reason I say you've not wasted time is if you've learned from it. Now, don't go do the same thing over and over and over again. That doesn't help, right? But when we talk about adjusting, when we talk about looking at things from a different perspective, when we talk about disrupting the mindset, disrupting the mind trap, disrupting those things, it is necessary. And the reason it's necessary is because that's how we get on track. That's how we get back on the horse and ride it into the sunset. Okay? So now, wishful thinkers, this is my last, because I'll be shutting down soon. Wishful thinkers, they stay stuck. Thank you. Thank you. Wishful thinkers, they stay stuck. Let's not be a wishful thinker, right? Interested people, they never fully commit. Let's listen. Let's not be interested. Where are my wishful thinkers and interested people? Where are you? Tell me in the comments. Those who put effort in and they struggle to stay consistent. Who is that? Those are my intentional effort people. They're trying. And first of all, just for being here, can we get some cheers? Just for being here, guys. Can y'all hear that? I hope y'all heard it. I tried to give y'all some claps. Hold on. Just for being here. That tells me that you're interested in transforming your life. That tells me that you want more. That tells me that you want a plan. That tells me that you want a strategy. That tells me that you want to progress. That tells me that you need a process, right? But the ones that go all in, that's where the transformation is. That's where my transformers are. So let's be a transformer. Let's be a transformer. I know some of you talked about what level you're at. What level are you at? But more importantly, where do you want to be? Listen now, you know, B is one of my favorite words, decide and be. Why is B a favorite word? Because it's the pre part of become. Become. What does that mean? Become means you're transitioning, you're transforming. You become. Once you become, you'll have it. Once you become, you will have what it is you're looking for. Why do I say that? Because in order to become, that means that you have to adjust your identity. Adjust your identity. The 5P transformation is the guide that you're looking for. Class starts March 17th. If you're serious about going all in, then that is the roadmap you're looking for. If you go to DanisSheldon.net, you click courses, you'll see it there. Sign up for the course. Okay? So life won't change because you want it to. It changes when you commit. It changes when you, the very first thing we have to do is acknowledge where we are. Acknowledge where you at. Acknowledge where you are, right? So my question for you is, are you ready to go all in? If you're ready, then I'm right here. I reintroduce myself all the time. My name is Denise Sheldon. I am your favorite life coach. I will be back on tomorrow. I hope this Wisdom Wednesday helped you. I hope it helped you to appreciate the different commitment levels and where you are. Yes. What is your why? We talked about that, Mira. Thank you. Mira, we talked about the why. Because if your why, you're welcome, Summer. Thank you for being here. If your why is not big enough, your commitment level won't be big either. I'm going to say that for the people in the back because somebody just got upset. I stepped on a toe just now. If your why is not big enough, then it's quite likely that your commitment level, any other adjective you want to add in, your commitment level is not big enough. Those two correlate. They speak to each other. So the why is, when that why is big enough and deep enough, then your commitment level is bigger and deeper as well. Okay, guys. So thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the likes, the gifts, joining the team. If you have not signed up, go to DanieSheldon.net, sign up. There's free information there as well. I really try hard to provide insight that's going to be helpful. I love being here in the morning times. Thank you guys so much for the support. I'll see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is Think About It Thursday. I'm going to give you some things to think about. We're going to disrupt our thought process like I try to always do. Let's disrupt our thought process. And I hope you all have a good day. Let me see. This is because I asked for an account. Let's go, right brain. You want an accountability partner? I'm right here. I'm right here. All right, guys. So don't forget, check up top. Click the link from my website. And I'll see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.